Section 4, draw gear, draft gear, driving gear, running gear, draw gear, and draft gear. Rule number 60. Draw gear. With the draw gear between the locomotive, the tender, with the give, with the pin, with the fastening, with the maintain, with the safety, with the conditions, with the pin, and the drawbar, with the remove, with the examine, with the carefully, with the defects not less than frequency, with the once every 3 months suitable mean, with the screw, with the drawbar pin, with the bull plate, with the provide, with the inverted drawbar pins, with the held and plate, with the plate of the strip. 2 more safety bars, safety chain with the ample strength, with the provide, with the dream, and the locomotive, with the tender, maintain with the safety, suitable conditions, serve with the inspect with the same time with the drawing, inspect with the safety of the chain, with the safety bars will be with the minimum length, consistent with the curvature of the road, on the locomotive, with the operate with the lost motion between the locomotive, with the tender, with the not equipped with the spring buffer that will be kept with the minimum will not exceed 1/2 inch, spring buffer that you with the make, the locomotive, with the tender spring that will be applied with not less than 3/4 inch of the compression at all times will be under sufficient compression, but kept in chafing of the faith with the contact with the chafing of the irons. Rule number 61. Shaping the iron such radius will permit proper curving with your curly locomotive. The tender will be maintained with the condition to permit free movement laterally and vertical. Draft gear with the rule number 62. With the draft gear and attachment, the locomotive, the tenders will be fastened securely, maintained with a safe and suitable condition of service. 42. Driving gear. Crosshead. Rule number 63. Crossheads will be maintained safe and suitable condition of service is not more than 1/4 of an inch vertical with a 5/16 of an inch lateral plate between crosshead and guide with the guides. Rule number 64. Guides will be fastened securely to maintain the safe and suitable condition for the service. Piston and piston rods. Rule number 65. Piston and piston rods will maintain safe and suitable condition for the service of the piston rod, with examined carefully with the cracks each time that they are removed and will be renewed and found with the defective. All piston rods have the date of application, original diameter, kind of the material stated legibly on them near the end of the rod. Rods the main side of the rule number 66. The rack and defect with the main side rods will not be continued to serve with heterogeneous welding of broken and cracked with the main and side rods will not be permitted. Bearings and bushings will serve so fit with the rods of each error. Save with the suitable condition of the serve with the means of the provider to prevent bushing with the turning of the rod. Straps will fit with the bolted securely through the rod. Total amount of the side motion rod with the crank pin with not exceed 1/4 inch. Oil grease cup attached secure with the rod. Grease cup plugs will be equipped with a suitable fastening for locomotive with the road with the bore. Main red rods with the will not exceed with the pin diameter with more than 3/32 with an inch of the front of the back and the end with the total loss of motion. Both ends will not exceed 5/32 with the inch bore side of the bearings will not exceed with the pin diameter more than 5/32 with the inch main pin or more than 3/16 with the inch on other pins. For locomotives within the arch of the bore with the main rod bearings will not exceed with the pin diameters more than 1/8 of an inch at the front end with the 5/32 with the inch from the back end of the bore. Side rod bearings will not exceed with the pin diameters more than 3/16 of an inch. 43. Running gear. Driving, trailing with the engine truck with axles. Rule number 67. These axles, any of the following defects will continue with the ensure the axle cut journal with it cannot be made with the running coal without turning the seam journal with an steel axle transverse seam as in the iron axle with any seam in the iron axle cover the journal to run hot become unsafe with the count layout. Use of the accident that you ran on the driving the train with the engine truck axles more than 1/2 inch over the original diameter except for the locomotive having all driving axles same diameter. One of the other main driving axles may be 1/3 inch below the original diameter. Your tender truck axle with one defect with the rule number 68 with these axles which any with the following defects will continue to ensure the axle cut journal cannot be made with the running cool without turning seam journal with the steel axle with the transverse seam with the journal with the iron axle is unsafe with the count while the use of the accident deramming the collar brake broken. Worn to 1/4 inch or less thickness. The billet with the back should be worn out. Minimum diameters. Rule number 69. The minimum diameter with the tender truck axles, various axle loads will as follow with the axle loads of 50,000 to 15,000 pounds. Standard axles inch 6'11" to 3 3/4 by 7. Minimum diameter wheel seat, and minimum diameter in center. Crank pins. Rule number 71. Crank pins will be applied securely. Shimming with the punching with the crank pins will be done. Crank pin collars, collar bolts will be maintained safe with suitable conditions. Service as a driving the boxes. Rule number 71. Driving the boxes will be maintained safe with suitable conditions. If the service is broken, loose the paragraph will be renewed. Not more than one shim may be used between the box bearing. Driving the brake shoes and wedges. Rule number 72. Driving the boxes, shoes and wedges will be maintained safe with suitable conditions for service. Frame. Rule number 73. Frames and deck plate for the tall P for the pedestal brake for the maintain with the shoe with the suitable condition for the service will be cleaned and inspected thoroughly each time the locomotive shop with the heavy repairs. G. Lateral motion. Rule number 74. 1. The total lateral motion play between hubs of the wheels of the box of any of the wheels will not exceed the following. Limited to the engine. For the engine truck, the trucks will swing centers 1 inch. For the engine trucks will ridge and centers 1.5 inch. The trailing truck wheels 1 inch. For driving wheels more more than one pair, 3 1/4 inch. These limits increase with the locomotive operating with the track with a curvature exceeding 20 degrees, which can be shown with the condition of car with additional lateral motion. Lateral motion all okay with the captain except for the limit, the driving the wheels, the rods, the crank pin, but will not interfere with the other parts of the locomotive. Pilots 8. Rule number 75 of the pilots will attach securely proper and brace properly maintain the suitable condition for service. The minimum clearance pilot of the rail will be 3 inches, maximum clearance 6 inches. Spring rigging. Rule number 76 with the spring equal out of the range of the ensure the proper distribution weight with the various wheels of the locomotive to maintain the approximate level of the safety suitable condition of the service. Springs and rigging will have any of the following defects renewed with a repair with the top of the leaf broken with the 2 half leaves over the top half broken, any with the 3 leaf of the spring broken alongside with the spring. We consider it to be on the top spring of the lever, the working end band, broken skull spring with a broken drive in the box saddle, equalizers, hanger, bolt, and pin, trucks leading and trailing. Rule number 77, the trucks will be maintained in safe with a suitable condition and for service. Center plates will fit with the property with the male center plate, extending into the female center plate with not less than 3 1/4 inch. All C other devices will maintain properly. A suitable safety chain will be provided at each of the corner with all 4 wheels in engine truck. All parts of the truck will have sufficient clearance to prevent the interfering with seriously with any of the part of the locomotive. Section 5, wheels.